Folks, we are coming to you live from London, England, over across the seas, as we bring you another episode of Friday Night SmackDown on the way to the Elimination Chamber. We still have a few qualifying matches to get through before the field is set into position. And ironically enough, we are starting things off with an Elimination Chamber qualifying match, and we have one of the UK's finest, one of the UK's own, Paige, coming down to the ring, formerly known as Saraya, but I guess she's going back to her old ring name of Paige, as we saw during her return at the Royal Rumble. This is a former multi-time Women's World Champion here, and she has a lot of history with the woman that she's going to be facing here tonight, Bianca Belair, a woman that she made her life a living hell at one point on this channel. Way back when Paige was rolling with some tough characters like Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. Bianca Belair, also a multi-time former Women's World Champion, looking to get right back on top of things, right back on in the mix for championship contention. Last time we seen this woman with gold was a little bit before SummerSlam. Her and Rhea Ripley were kind of, hot potatoing the belt between each other. I mean, it's almost like I'm saying that they weren't having incredible matches to beat each other over with, but no, that's kind of what the whole thing with it was going on with Ripley and Belair. Those two women having incredible matches, trading victories and trading championship wins until they met. The women's Money in the Bank winner Jade Cargill cashed in on a briefcase after Belair and Ripley's last match. And Jade Cargill obviously just recently losing that championship to Tiffany Stratton at the Royal Rumble in an incredible match. So looks like Cargill might have to find her way back up the card as well. As here we go, we're starting things off. Belair and Paige getting this hot UK crowd involved already. In the Women's Elimination Chamber field already stacked to the gills, if you ask me. And we got, new names in the Elimination Chamber like Julia making her Elimination Chamber debut. We got veterans like Naomi in there. Bayley is also another one. Bianca Belair looks to add her name to the list. Oh, what a strike by Belair. And now sending Paige over here is look out. Look at the strength of Belair on full display with a tilt-a-whirl facebuster. Connects beautifully. Big strike to the face. We got a huge night planned, culminating with almost a double Jeopardy type of main event with the United States Championship on the line. Carmelo Hayes getting his rematch against Jacob Fatu, the man that took that championship away from him almost nearly a year ago now. While at the same time, whoever walks out with that win and with the United States title will also be entered into the Men's Elimination Chamber match. So an Elimination Chamber qualifying / United States Championship match to close our show. Should be one hell of a match. Nice roll-up attempt by Paige, catching Belair off guard. Now Paige tries to gain some momentum. Just slamming her head right down onto the mat. Goes for another cover. I mentioned all the time during these qualifying matches, you see that the person and their opponent have been trying to put each other away. A nice roll-up attempt by Bianca Belair. Like I said, you want to preserve your energy, preserve your body for what you're going to have to endure inside the chamber if you get there. As I look at this, goes back and over. Oh, what a kick right to the back of the head going down. Both of these women are widely considered veterans at this point in their career. Paige obviously has been doing this a little bit longer than Bianca. But Bianca is, when you talk about the cream of the crop, she's at the very top of that conversation. Rarely do you ever see Bianca Belair head into a WrestleMania without either holding a championship or the championship being on the line in the match that she is participating in. As now Paige is firing up on Belair. Nice trip to the leg from Paige. Kick to the arm, it looked like that time. And for Paige, like I said, she is a former champion here on the channel, but she's looking to get back all the way back up that card. Would find herself on the WrestleMania card this year. I believe the year that she was champion, she actually missed out on WrestleMania because she lost that title at that year's Royal Rumble to Sasha Banks. That's how we got Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks a few years back. Almost a rematch of sorts from that incredible history-making first match those two women had. Belair, as a matter of fact, in order to get into that match, she won an Elimination Chamber match. So Belair is no stranger when it comes to surviving the Elimination Chamber. But like I said, look out, Bianca Belair. I was going to say, I think Bianca Belair was looking to take to the skies, but I guess she thinks better of it. No, trying to just get the momentum going, but Paige obviously taking advantage of the time that Belair took to try and get that momentum going. And look at that strike right to the jaw. Well, I was saying Bianca Belair does have experience of winning the Elimination Chamber. I would argue that the field has probably never been this stacked. I mean, you have unpredictable opponents in there like Julia. Like I said, a woman coming into her first Elimination Chamber. You have no idea what Julia is going to be capable of inside the Elimination Chamber. She's already a dangerous individual with her own limbs. Imagine if you give her, a weapon to add to the fray and an environment that acts as a weapon in itself, like the Elimination Chamber. I mean, there are superstars that have gone on record that will say that their careers were forever changed, their lives were forever changed after stepping in the Elimination Chamber. One of those people you could probably ask is Booker T. I mean, he claims that he's been in one Elimination Chamber, he never wants to be in another one again. Like, he's happy he's retired so that he doesn't have to deal with matches just like that. It absolutely scarred, that poor guy. But I mean, I can't blame him. That is a very grueling match. And speaking of grueling, oh my God, what a smack right to the ribs by Belair. Can't really exactly tell who has the momentum heading into this one, but it could be Bianca because there goes the KOD out of nowhere. Wait a minute, this might be a quick win for Belair. And indeed, my God. Bianca Belair turned that thing around real quick. She turned the match around in her favor real quick, and that just proves exactly what it means to be a WrestleMania caliber athlete. Bianca Belair doing what she has to do to get the ball rolling, to get to the Elimination Chamber, secure her plane ride to Toronto, and hopefully win another Elimination Chamber match. Congratulations to the EST starting our show off in a very big way. Well, moving forward, folks, we got some tag team action as we are once again joined by suddenly becoming a fan favorite type of duo of Brody King and Bandito. Brodido, two men that have arrived on the scene just a little bit before the Royal Rumble, staking their claim not only at every tag team on Friday Night SmackDown, but those illustrious tag team titles that the Usos hold. Brody King and Bandito in action tonight. They're going to have their hands full with Los Garza. That being Angel and Berto. Should be an incredible match, especially when you mix the styles of Bandito and Los Garza, and you add that heavy hitter known as Brody King as well. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And we saw exactly what Brodido were capable of a number of weeks ago when they debuted against Alpha Academy, that being Otis and Tozawa. That was actually a fairly competitive match, considering, I would have thought that Brody King would have wanted to mow through the Alpha Academy, but you got to give Otis and Tozawa credit, because every time that they are showcased here at Universe Mode, they show up to the dance for sure. And like I said, anytime you're on the road to WrestleMania, everybody that's getting these spotlight, everybody that's getting these opportunities to showcase what they're capable of, they just turn it up a notch. And that's exactly what I expect out of these two right here as well. Some good hands in Angel and Berto. These guys have been mainstays on the main roster for almost, I think, a little bit over half a decade now. Bandito, meanwhile, and Brody King. Well, Brody King actually not new to SmackDown, just coming back to SmackDown. We know Brody King had his history with Friday Night SmackDown back when him and Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black were running things. But now Brody King, since returning, he's brought a newfound friend, newfound tag team partner in Bandito. A man that Brody King has gone on record saying that he would trust with his life in that ring. A man that he has a great deal of respect for as well. Is Bandito starting things off with a monkey flip. And before we get to the main event later on tonight, I'm told we're going to hear from our World Heavyweight Champion, brand new World Heavyweight Champion, Jon Moxley. He has a few things to say about not only his championship win, but I'm sure, about where, his road to WrestleMania is going to be going, considering he holds the World Heavyweight Championship. As long as he keeps that championship heading into Vegas, then he pretty much has a secure spot in one of the premier matches at that very event. Only really good question underlying is, the Royal Rumble winner in the men's department would be Roman Reigns. So, and Roman has not declared as to who he's going to challenge, whether that be in Moxley or CM Punk over a Monday Night Raw. If, like I said, either man go into Vegas as the champion. But there's a lot of history between Roman and Punk and Roman and Mox, so it's a very personal championship match for Roman Reigns in his return back to the main event of WrestleMania this year. As look at this tag team continuity by Brody King and Bandito, an assisted senton, and then just to add a little bit more flavor to the mix, another senton by Big Bad Brody King. And this is scary. Anytime I see Brody King in there with a guy that pales in comparison to him, I mean, I almost feel bad for the individual. But like I said, Berto and Angel, they are no slouches in that ring. Made their name down in Mexico before coming to WWE. I'm sure Bandito has had prior run-ins with these two individuals. Oh my God, look at this springboard moonsault. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Don't give Berto and Angel the opportunity. But oh my God, look at that rolling elbow by Brody King, just shutting it down. Elsewhere on the card, we also have Kenny Omega in action coming up later tonight, folks, as well. So it's an incredible night of action here on Friday Night SmackDown, as it has been for quite some time now. I mean, the locker room here on Friday Night SmackDown is absolutely stacked to the gills. There's now a sit-out pile driver by Brody King. Almost went for that rolling elbow again, but Berto able to escape, and Berto trying to get the tag to Angel, but Brody King is trying to fight off, make sure Berto can't get the fresher man in, but either way he does. Is now look at this combination striking from these two, and what the hell have they got planned here? Oh my God, an assisted shooting star. I don't know what the hell to call that. Heck, Berto was just, I don't even know. He was standing in place, and then Angel pushed him into position. I didn't know what they had going on there. I told you, man, during the WrestleMania season, these superstars really turning up a notch. As now Brody King is trying to get back in the driver's seat here. Angel slipping through the back, though, out of that pump handle attempt, and now another tag. Another tag to Berto as they work on the ribcage of Big Bad Brody King. Going to make it hard for a bigger man to breathe if you hit him right in the ribs. And look at this, Berto. Nice. I was going to say schoolboy, but no. Ow, Berto actually showing some power that time, lifting him up with a schoolboy power. I mean, that is a huge man to get up, not only with two arms, but with one. I don't know how Berto just did that, and an impossible feat of strength that time from Berto. But nonetheless, Brody King is trying to use his power to his advantage and trying to keep in control of this thing. As now, look at this, Brody King turning on the Jets, and that is absolutely terrifying sight to see. A man of that size should not be moving that quick as he chops almost the skin off the chest of Berto that time. You better be careful because that war paint that Berto's wearing on his chest might come to fruition. It might be actual blood being shattered if Brody King continues with these chops. King taking out both members of Los Garza. As now Berto does not want to get Bandito back into this match. You can see how desperately he's trying to avoid Brody King from tagging him in. As now look out here, a nice tilt-a-whirl small package from Berto. Almost got the 3 count off it too. Brody King had to just power his legs out of the grip of Berto, though. As now Berto lining Brody King up for something here. Goes for a super kick. Caught by Brody. And look at that. Goes for a rolling elbow. Berto out of it again. Goes for a springboard moonsault. Brody King with a nice reversal. Man, these teams are certainly seesawing back and forth in terms of who has the advantage in this one. As now Bandito gets that tag that he wanted earlier. And now the pace I anticipate to be quickening here. The Berto shutting it down real quick with a kick to the arm of Bandito. And I look out here. Big clothesline over the top rope. Wiping out Berto. And Bandito now. He's got his mark. He's got his man looking to head to the sky. Oh, no. In for a suicide dive. Berto stepping out of the harm's way that time. And looked like the Bandito was going to throw him into the ring post, but he changed course and threw a kick right at him. And like a big splash off the barricade. We've been seeing a lot of superstars use that barricade to their advantage lately. And, I mean, more power to them. It's another wheel in their arsenal. And now Bandito's calling Berto up to his feet. What the hell has Bandito got planned here? My God. A rope-assisted Hurricane Rana. He's not done there just yet. Tilt-a-whirl DDT. And the man that's simply the most wanted is looking great. You can see why Bandito was such a sought-after talent, why he was, quote-unquote, the most wanted free agent on the market. I mean, this guy is absolutely incredible. Sky's the limit for a guy like Bandito. He's still very young in this business when it comes to, when it comes to people reaching their peak, if you will. Brody King is another one that you need to be watching out for in the coming of years. Is now Bandito just biding his time here, going off the ropes with an absolute picture-perfect moonsault. Meanwhile, Berto breaking the count. Bandito now locking up with Berto. As now look out here. Bandito went for a power bomb. Nice sunset reversal from Angel this time. Angel trying to keep Bandito from tagging in Brody King. Slamming the knee right on the mat. And now Angel sending Bandito back into Los Garza's corner. This is an incredible tag team work from both teams in this match. Trying to, keep the ring dissected. Isolate their opponent from their tag team partner. Now what the hell is Berto have in store for Bandito? Bandito turning it around with a big kick right to the face. And now Bandito going off the ropes. Beautiful. Oh, he went for a standing shooter. Went for a standing shooting star splash, but Berto getting the knees up. Certainly some tape studding going on from Los Garza's side. They only had one match to go off of Brodido's arsenal, but I mean they studied it to a T, that's for sure, because they have some unique reversals for these men's offense tonight. You know, Berto trying to get Bandito back in Los Garza's corner. Bandito trying to fight off Berto. Like I said, a seesaw battle is the perfect description for what this has been. Is now Berto. What the hell has he got planned for Bandito? Snap mirrors him onto the ground. Look out here. Berto switching directions with the rope-assisted moonsault. Brody King has to break the count. He feared that his team might be in jeopardy. Is now look out here. Brody King with a Gonzo bomb. Gonzo bomb just spiked Berto right on his head. And now Bandito taking care of Angel with a huge back suplex on the apron. A back suplex on the apron. Bandito wiping out Angel. Gonzo bomb to Berto. This could be all but over. Bandito now heading to the top. Looking to capitalize with a double axe handle. Double axe handle from Bandito. And now Bandito. What has he got planned here? Nice half and half. No. Nice reversal by Berto. Goes for something. Goes for a belly to belly. Looks like Bandito fighting out. Later stages of this match is neither team wants to give an inch. Bandito again wiping out Angel. Is now Bandito climbing, scaling the top rope once more. Waiting in position. Nice frog splash. Goes for the cover. 1, 2. Could be it. No, Berto, to his credit, getting that shoulder up. Bandito looking for that final bullet in the chamber, if you will, to put this thing to bed. Is now look out here. Brody King, what has he got planned here? Oh no, Bandito gives the signal, a big kick to the head, and oh my god, what a brain buster. A brain buster by Brody King with the assisted kick, and Bandito takes Angel out again, and with that, Brodido picks up a huge victory. Another incredible victory for Brodido, I should say, as they build momentum in the tag team division. One would have to believe that some championship qualifications will be in store for these two men in the very near future. Well, what an incredible performance by Brodido. I know the champs, the Usos, had to be watching that one very closely, as obviously there is some very tough, stiff competition in the tag team division here on Friday Night SmackDown for the Usos to have to deal with as they head in to the road to WrestleMania. And speaking of tag teams, that being former tag team champions, if you will, the MFTs are here. Solo Sikoa leading his family down to the ring as JC Mateo is actually getting set for singles action tonight against Kenny Omega, a man that sticked his nose into the MFT's business just last week when they had plans to assault Hangman Adam Page. Obviously, Solo Sikoa's ego getting the best of him after losing to Hangman in an incredible, grueling battle between the two. Solo Sikoa was going to try to get his measure of revenge on Hangman Page, and him and Tama Tonga were looking to lay him out with a steel chair. But Kenny Omega would make the save for an old friend in Hangman Adam Page. So tonight, Solo Sikoa has sicked one of his dogs, JC Mateo. Very dangerous individual in that ring, as you're about to find out, on Kenny Omega in singles competition here tonight. And here he comes down to the ring. Looks like he's not alone. Looks like saving Hangman Adam Page last week did him a good favor, because now the Hangman has joined Kenny Omega down at ringside. Make sure no other events like last week happen where the MFTs try to take advantage of Omega in this match. But that's not going to stop. That's not going to stop Sikoa and his gang. Should be an incredible match between Kenny and JC Mateo. Very, very different styles of the two men. JC Mateo likes to. He's a grappler. He's a brawler at times too. But Kenny Omega, he can really do it all at this point in his career. A man that has Main event at the Tokyo Dome. A man that's been all around the world, and then back, and then all around the world again. Also a man that has had a history of WrestleMania matches here on the JPG channel. An incredible track record in terms of opponents too, because the two men that Omega has faced on the grandest stage, one being Seth freaking Rollins, and the other being the current WWE champion over on Monday Night Raw, CM Punk, at last year's WrestleMania. Is now Kenny Omega grabbing a wrist lock on JC Mateo, starting things off with a little bit of grappling in Kenny Omega's own right. Like I said, JC Mateo is a grappler. He's about as traditional as a wrestler will really get. I mean, you see him out here in the singlet, but he has that strength to his, like, I mean, it's almost like inhuman strength that this man has at times. And you'll see it throughout times in this match if Omega allows it. As now Mateo grabs a hold of the arm. And a nice arm drag by JC Mateo. Goes for a clothesline. Kenny Omega ducking out. Sending him right into the corner. As now Kenny Omega. What's he got planned here? Going after the leg of Mateo. Trying to take a little bit of power out of Mateo's game. And that's a good strategy for Kenny heading into this match. As now Mateo, look out, big spear out of the corner. And goes for a cover, already getting a 2 count off that spear. That tells you just how dangerous of an individual JC Mateo is. That tells you the power, the level of power that when he hits you, what's hitting you truly, because that just absolutely stunned Kenny Omega for the moment's being. But Omega now trying to fight out. Has JC Mateo on his shoulders here. Look out. Face first onto the turnbuckle pad. Goes JC Mateo. And now a big strike right to the face of Kenny Omega. And look at this, wrenching at the knee of Kenny is JC. You know, Solo Sikoa would love for Mateo to get not only a big victory over a guy the caliber of Kenny Omega. I mean, what would that do for the stocks of the MFT? Oh, look at that! I just peeped in the corner there that Tala Tunga was undoing the turnbuckle pad, obviously looking to distract our official, probably for the MFT to get a little bit of an advantage in this thing. But Kenny Omega, knees up. I was gonna say Kenny Omega was still in the driver's seat momentarily. And now, wait a minute, Kenny Omega looking to drive JC Mateo up, I believe, with a fisherman suplex, but JC Mateo, a nice reversal. Kenny Omega, though, reversing out of that cradle. Certainly still early on in the match. Both of these men trying to gain an advantage. Here comes Kenny Omega with a flurry of strikes. And this is where the experience factor of Kenny Omega really comes into play. Is look at this. Grabs both arms of Mateo. Mateo, again, using his power to his advantage to get out. Comes back with a discus lariat. Now Mateo going to the top rope here. Big man coming off the top rope. Goes for, I think, a Samoan splash of some sorts. And now look at Sikoa. What the hell is he doing over there? Sikoa is never up to any good. There's now JC Mateo. Look out here. Caught Kenny Omega off guard. And look at this. A sidewinder suplex by Mateo. Just planted Kenny Omega into the ground. Could go for a cover, but I believe Mateo trying to worry about getting back up on his feet. As now Mateo rises above the ground. My gosh. I mean, that's not even a standing shooting star. That's like a standing shooting star headbutt. He didn't even change direction or anything. He stayed in place and still hit a front moon. I don't know what the hell that was. I told you, JC Mateo is, I mean, there's a reason why we signed this guy. There's a reason why he's in the WWE to begin with. You talk about Kenny Omega, a man that ran the Japan scene. JC Mateo was a guy that was also doing things in Japan. He was making a name for himself, and Will Ospreay's group, the United Empire. He also had a brief stint in PWG with Matt Riddle. As now, look at this. JC Mateo, I think he was looking to take to the skies for a second, but thinks better of it as he saw Hangman Adam Page kind of almost blocking the way. Throws Kenny Omega back into the ring, and Mateo getting right in the grill of Hangman. No love lost between the MFTs and the Hanger. As now look at this. Kenny Omega just using that brief moment, almost an unwanted distraction to his advantage as Mateo drives a sharp elbow right to the jaw. And look at this, sending Kenny Omega right down on the mat and colliding with a senton. Mateo now trying to keep this going, but Kenny Omega, drove that shoulder down onto the mat. And now Omega could be going for One-Winged Angel. But JC Mateo fighting out. Almost put it to bed right then and right now. As now look at this, Mateo again showing off that power. My God, turning Kenny Omega inside out. Almost a modified F5 that time from Mateo. And now JC Mateo, there's that strength that I was talking about before this match even began. That inhuman strength, because he's not even done there just yet. Not one, but two gut-wrench suplexes. Kenny Omega does not want to be here. This is when JC Mateo starts to really thrive, is when his power is being utilized. When he could just absolutely manhandle an individual. But look out, because Omega coming off the ropes. Beautiful leg drop bulldog that time by Kenny Omega. As now Omega looks to showcase his strength. He's not shy in that department. Back and forth these two go. Omega caught him off guard with the dragon suplex. Goes for the cover. JC Mateo getting his shoulder out at 2 though. This has been what a match this has been. I told you at the start of the bell this could be a sleeper for these two men. Just the mix of styles. I just had a feeling that these two guys were going to go out there and tear it up. As now Sol Sikoa again getting right in the face of Kenny Omega. Talking some trash on the outside as JC Mateo looks to try to shake the cobwebs. Meanwhile, Kenny Omega taken to the skies with a tope con hilo. As now Kenny Omega trying to get Mateo back into the ring. A noble man Omega is trying to win this match the good old-fashioned way with the 3 count. As now Omega, what's he got in store? Got him up. Drives him right on the knee. Right on the knee, shoulder to the knee. And Omega's game plan has really been trying to take away, the power in the limbs of Mateo. As now Omega lining Mateo up. Look out here. V-trigger right to the jaw. And wait, Mateo's getting back up on his feet. What the hell? 1 V-trigger, not enough. Usually that V-trigger could possibly end most of Omega's matches. Mateo just got on his damn feet. And now Omega's looking to double or not. No! Went for the V-trigger on the ropes, and my God, what a European uppercut by Mateo. Mateo just suckered Omega in. And now, wait a minute here. Tries to go for, I think, a German of sorts, but Omega goes for a German of his own. Back and forth these two are going. Nobody wants to give either of their one of their opponents the advantage in this match. Omega trying to desperately fight out of the fireman's carry. Goes for another V-trigger. Step back by Mateo. Mateo could be lining up for Tour of the Islands. No, Omega slipping out again. Man, these two are really going tit for tat right now. Look out, another dragon suplex. And Omega not even bothering to go for the cover because he knows the one thing that will put Mateo away is indeed a one-winged angel. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye and good night, says Kenny Omega. You got to give it up to JC Mateo in that match. I mean, you can see Omega is wearing the battle scars, the wounds of war, if you will. But yet again, this newfound reformed friendship between Omega and Hangman getting the best of the MFTs. Omega with a big victory over JC Mateo. And that has to feel good for Omega. Well, certainly a little bit of a message by our World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley as we head in to WrestleMania in just a few short weeks, and we're on directly heading into Elimination Chamber next week. Moxley basically saying he doesn't give a damn whether Roman chooses him or not, or if the Elimination Chamber winner ends up facing the Death Rider. He says the result will be the same either way. Moxley's hand raised in victory when we get to Vegas, providing Moxley makes it to Vegas as the champion. Anything can happen on the road to WrestleMania. You never know. But neither here nor there, because we are set for our main event. United States Championship on the line at the same time. An Elimination Chamber qualifying match between Carmelo Hayes and Jacob Fatu. Either of those men would add a lot to that chamber match, as it's already a pretty stacked field in the men's area as well, as the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes won against Damian Priest last week. Braun Breaker and Drew McIntyre on Monday Night Raw qualified last week, and then just this past Monday night, or excuse me, not this past Monday night, but next Monday night we'll find out who the third participant on Monday Night Raw is, in an incredible match, almost a rivalry match of sorts, as Seth freaking Rollins and Kevin Owens go one-on-one. And then next Friday night, we'll find our final men's on the SmackDown side when Ilya Dragunov meets Trick Williams, the former World Heavyweight Champion, Ilya Dragunov, notably. Jacob Fatu coming down to the ring, United States Champion. He could definitely have a big night at the chamber if he walks in as United States Champion and wins the damn thing, arguably going to WrestleMania with a championship around his shoulder, fighting for a championship of his choosing. Fatu would be a very dangerous man to be inside that Elimination Chamber. I'm gonna tell you that right now. At the same time, Carmelo Hayes could bring his athletic ability and use that to his advantage in the Elimination Chamber. We've seen superstars, go off the pod. We've seen superstars scale to the top of the cage and drop themselves down like a bomb. We've seen some crazy things in the Elimination Chamber over the years, but I don't think we've ever seen anything like if Jacob Fatu got in there. I think the best thing I could probably compare it to is when Umaga was in the Elimination Chamber, and we saw how destructive that was. So, either way, both of these men are going to have to fight tooth and nail tonight just to get to Elimination Chamber. But there's also, there's that much more level of importance in this match because the United States Championship is on the line. As the former champion, Carmelo Hayes looks to get that title back. Last week, after a successful victory over Aleister Black, Melo made his intentions crystal clear as to where he was going, where he was headed in terms of trying to get his championship back. He told Jacob Fatu that while he might have missed the last time these two were in the ring, this time he's going for the head. And believe you me, one thing you don't want to mess with is a Samoan in their head. They're very historically strong-headed individuals. You got a bunch of stories of superstars that say back when they were in the rings with the Wild Samoans or Yokozuna or Rikishi or any of those guys, anytime they would get hit in the head by a Samoan, they'd feel like they got ran over by a car. Look at this. Speaking of being ran over by a car, Jacob Fatu starting things off in a big way with a gut wrench sit-out powerbomb. Carmelo Hayes, though, look at this. Almost showcasing a little strength, though, there, able to roll Jacob Fatu on his shoulders. And now Carmelo Hayes and Jacob Fatu, two very talented individuals, Certainly two men that deserve a marquee match like this in the main event on Friday Night SmackDown. Jacob Fatu, nice pop-up Samoan drop, and oh my God, Fatu taken to the skies with a tilt-a-whirl senton. Jacob Fatu he means some serious business. I mean, he wants to get to the Elimination Chamber. A guy like Jacob Fatu, he feels comfortable in a setting like that. He's an absolute animal in that ring in every positive way possible, and negative if you're his opponent, I suppose. As now Carmelo Hayes throws a nice drop kick right to the face. Meanwhile, Carmelo Hayes could have the opportunity to join one of his former NXT alumni in Braun Breaker if he wins tonight's match. As now Carmelo Hayes, beautiful neck breaker, giving Jacob Fatu almost a little bit of whiplash that time. And now Hayes going off the ropes. Oh! Misdirected a little bit there, but was able to kind of get himself back in the game. Nice springboard moonsault. Connects to Fatu. No, Fatu getting the shoulder out. United States Championship on the line. Got to keep reminding you all of that, because this is not just an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. There are even more stakes than a qualifying match, which is not per usual. And you see how the competition has stacked in these qualifying matches these last few weeks. I mean, imagine if you got a championship on the line on top of that. The sense of urgency is heightened drastically. As now Melo trying to send Fatu off the ropes. Fatu just crashing right into him. As now look at this. Fatu wearing Carmelo Hayes down with a vice grip right on the neck area of Carmelo Hayes. He could reach a pressure point if he wanted to. As now Fatu goes off the ropes, throwing his elbow right to the back. A springboard elbow drop right into the back of Carmelo Hayes. Somehow Melo's the first one on his feet. Fatu might have landed a little awkwardly after that springboard. Nice pump handle kick, bicycle kick from Carmelo Hayes. Hayes calling Fatu up to his feet. Going for a double axe handle and connects. Really impressed with the Carmelo Hayes approach to this match. I would have thought that he'd be trying to use his speed to his advantage, maybe to try to outmaneuver Jacob Fatu, but he's been throwing some absolute haymakers Jacob Fatu's way. He's been throwing them bows. He's been trying to actually use a little bit of Melo's own power. Nice springboard clothesline by Carmelo. That's the Carmelo Hayes I'm used to seeing, a guy that, has a God-given athletic ability in that ring. Former NXT champion, former North American champion, former United States champion before he met the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu. Is now look out here. Oh, Hayes not able to. I mean, there's been a few times in this match where he miscalculated his target. I don't know if it's the pressure, of this being not only a championship match, but an Elimination Chamber qualifying match that's getting to Carmelo Hayes, but he needs to lock in. He needs to lock in. Oh, almost locked his knees up that time, landing like that. Jacob Fatu able to escape that tope attempt of Melo, as now it's Jacob Fatu. What has he got in store for Carmelo Hayes? This crazy son of a bitch. Look at, no, wait a minute. Over the top rope goes Jacob Fatu with a vaulting splash. And yeah, Fatu is starting to feel it. He's all gas, no brakes with it, and he's got his foot directly on the pedal. He going 85 on down to 30 right now is what Jacob Fatu's doing. As now Carmelo Hayes could be in trouble here, as Fatu is now really starting to get in the groove. Oh no, I was he's starting to get in the groove here, but Melo is trying to nip that in the bud as quickly as he can. And now speaking of the headbutts, here come the headbutts, and that could give Carmelo Hayes a concussion. He don't want to take too many of those. Big running senton by Jacob Fatu, wiping out the target. Now Fatu sending Carmelo Hayes over the ropes just to bring him right back in. And now, oh no, wait a minute. Oh, win for a crossbody. Melo keeping his distance. Goes for a chop. Fatu. Back and forth with Melo. No, look out here. Tilt-a-whirl face buster out of nowhere by the former United States champion. As now Carmelo Hayes going off the ropes. Goes for a springboard moonsault. Did not realize that Fatu was already getting back up on his feet. Big drop kick. Catching Fatu. Rebounding off the ropes. These two men clearly have learned a thing or two since their last outing with one another. And now just smashing Fatu's face into the turnbuckle pad. Going off the ropes, tries Fatu. No, gets caught by a first 48. And that's the first real big move of this match from Carmelo Hayes. First 48 knees to the face. Not enough to get the job done, though. As now Fatu went for a clothesline. Carmelo going up and over with a float over DDT, but Fatu putting the brakes on. And now Hayes again going for that springboard clothesline. Fatu just ducking out of harm's way that time. There's another headbutt. Like I said, do not want to take too many of those. As now Jacob Fatu, what the hell has he got planned for Carmelo Hayes? Just ragdolling him halfway across the ring. And now big super kick connects. Jacob Fatu. Oh, what the hell? I did not realize he's even busted open. That is not a man you want to make see his own blood. As now Carmelo Hayes. Well, wait a minute. Suddenly Carmelo Hayes has a fire lit under his you-know-what. As now, wait a minute. Carmelo Hayes trying to get him up. Oh, my goodness. A lifting cutter. A suplex lift into a cutter from Carmelo Hayes. That could have gotten the job done right there. If I'm Carmelo, I would have actually gone for a cover that time. But I guess he thinks that that's not enough. As now Jacob Fatu, look out here. A standing Uranagi. Just flattening Carmelo that time. Melo, to his credit, not even letting a 2 count fall in this match. Carmelo Hayes knows that winning that United States Championship pretty much guarantees him a spot at WrestleMania, whether he wins that chamber match or not. So this is almost a must-win for Carmelo Hayes, as is for Jacob Fatu. Is now, wait a minute, what the hell is this? Fatu has him in a fireman's carry. Samoan drop off the top. My God. A regular Samoan drop is enough, but going off the top rope with it, and somehow Carmelo still gets a kick out. Carmelo Hayes is showing a different side of himself, and he's impressing me and everybody in this arena here in London tonight. Carmelo trying to get back up, but Fatu has other ideas in mind, just spiking him with a sit-out DDT. That could be it. I saw his head spike the canvas, but that's still not enough. Fatu, I mean, I've never seen Fatu be a man of doubt or frustration, but you have to wonder at this point, because Carmelo Hayes is just taking everything that Fatu has thrown at him and is answered with his own, of course, but also has been able to get right back up from it. As now Jacob Fatu lands that nice hip attack in the corner, and there it is, the triple moonsault. That's ball game right then and right there. Fatu retains. No, Carmelo Hayes just getting the shoulder out again. Oh my God, I don't know if anybody's ever kicked out of the triple moonsault. I gotta think back, and I can't think for the life of me. That's the move that he put Roman Reigns away with last WrestleMania. As now Carmelo Hayes, a newfound form of Hayes here tonight. As now look out here, Carmelo Hayes setting Jacob Fatu on those ropes, dangling him over. Look out, floating over with the fadeaway leg drop. Carmelo Hayes now. This could be his moment. Fatu is prime in position. Big knee strike right to the jaw. I cannot believe Carmelo Hayes is still in this match after everything that Fatu was thrown at him. And now, wait a minute, Carmelo now. Oh, look at this. Oh, taking him over with a big power slam. As now Carmelo goes off the ropes with a beautiful Elbow drop right to the Samoan heart. Carmelo Hayes needs to keep this going. Could be on the verge of defeating Jacob Fatu. Look out, another first 48 connects. That's the second time he's delivered that move to Fatu. Count of 2. No, Fatu again getting that shoulder out. Carmelo Hayes now going off the ropes. Oh, man, but he's tried that time and time again in this match, and every time he's miscalculated. And, yeah, I was going to say that's exactly what you don't want, because Fatu is now taking full advantage of every time that Melo makes a mistake in this match. You don't want to make a mistake with a man as dangerous as Jacob Fatu. As now Jacob Fatu sending him off the ropes with a Samoan drop. Samoan drop connects. Could be it. Melo again getting that shoulder out. Win or lose, Carmelo Hayes is showing me something in this match, folks. I mean, I told you these superstars bring it up a notch when it comes to the road to WrestleMania. Carmelo Hayes is trying to make sure, I don't care if he's a champion or not, that he has some form of a spot on that very card. As now, oh, Fatu goes off the ropes again. Jacob Fatu now, I mean, he's got to be questioning. I would be questioning myself. I don't care how dangerous of a man I am, what it's going to take to get to, to be able to leave London with that championship still around my waist. And now Fatu really turning up a notch. This time he goes for the pinfall with that gut wrench powerbomb. Carmelo again with a big kick out. And now Fatu, you got to keep it going, man. Just keep it going until he doesn't kick out. And now he deadlifts him into a regular sit-out powerbomb. God, how do you have that power still this late in the match? I mean, both of these men have to be exhausted. There's blood spilled in the ring, courtesy of Jacob Fatu's forehead. Carmelo Hayes just survived 2 absolutely spine-crunching power bombs. Just got kicked right in the face. And now Fatu's going off the ropes once more. Goes for a Samoan drop. Knees up by Melo, though. The knees up by Melo. And now again. Oh, there's that Tilt-A-Whirl facebuster. The Tilt-A-Whirl facebuster. This could be Carmelo Hayes' opportunity to shoot his shot. And he told Fatu he ain't missed it tonight. Nothing but net. And new United States no! Fatu peels the shoulder off the mat. Last time these two faced off, the first nothing but net was not enough to put Fatu away, and Melo never got a chance to hit another one. If he can get a second one, I do believe that would be enough. I've never seen anybody kick out of 2 of them, let alone there's barely anybody that kicks out of 1 of them. Another pop-up Samoan drop, though. Like I said, if Fatu lets him hit another one, which I don't think he will, because there goes a second triple moonsault. Valiant effort by Carmelo Hayes, but damn, Jacob Fatu is too damn good. My God, what a match between these two. Could have went either way, but as you see, a bloodied, battered, and bruised Jacob Fatu survives. Carmelo Hayes survives his shot, and now goes into Elimination Chamber as United States Champion.